issue was already raised, as I understand it, and addressed in a transcribed interview with the representative of GARM. As that witness stated, and as I'm sure the representatives from Group M and Unilever would likewise note, they are not responsible for creating or implementing Facebook's ad policies. That's something Facebook does. They are, as advertisers, though, rightly concerned about the uniform enforcement of those policies. As the witness stated, quote, "You can't imagine a global marketer if they are trying to run a campaign across platforms or across markets, and if they start hitting those inconsistencies where there are actions taken against advertising messages and campaigns that are not clear, they are not transparent. It creates disruption because it's like all of a sudden I now actually have an outage in my campaign and I'm not going to be able to reach as many consumers. I'm not going to get business results. The company is not going to perform. Stock market prices, it's all there. Basically, supply and demand is all very American. It's what we're all about, capitalism. Is that, Mr. Patel, is that pretty much correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I would appreciate your... The app was not taken down. The ad was not taken down, was it?
Not to my understanding.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I was in transportation working on some issues there and came here to what I think is a rather bizarre hearing. Not the first we've had in this committee. It's our second hearing ostensibly charging specific groups with illegal conduct without a single expert witness to lay out that conduct and how that conduct violates the law. This is the Judiciary Committee. We're supposed to be looking about law, violation of law, legal experts. Nada. We did have 2 oversight hearings of the antitrust enforcement agencies, the Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Justice. We had 2 top enforcement officials here. Not once did any member bring up Global Alliance for Responsible Media, Group M, Unilever, or any of this. So when Republicans had the opportunity to ask antitrust experts, they didn't. Today we have 2 witnesses, a large advertiser and a large advertising buyer, who are testifying why the Republicans just have it factually wrong. And we have a talk show host who is bitter that corporations do not want to buy his program. It's a good thing we have an esteemed antitrust expert with us today, Professor Waller. He diligently and politely explained why this legal theory that there is some antitrust violation designed to censor conservatives is bunk. So that is the evidence we have before us. Thank you, Mr. Waller. The legal theory is bunk. Clean that up a bit. The Republicans have it backwards. Their cry against censorship is nothing more than an attempt to bully, or as they would like it, compel by law, companies to associate themselves with individuals and content creators that companies believe are harmful and pay them. Seriously, you think Unilever should be forced to advertise and in doing so financially support posts about rape or domestic violence? That's not the American way. We let the private enterprise capitalistic system determine where they want to advertise. And that is the record that's coming out in this hearing, is that they want to force Unilever to do certain things. This is a real concern. We have images that show how a company has legitimate business interests, and I would argue a social obligation not to support this type of harmful conduct and then be associated with it. It also gets free speech wrong, as Professor Waller explained. This isn't about government censoring anyone. It's, in fact, it's about trying to use the antitrust laws and enforcements to compel speech. The Republicans must read the Constitution in a funhouse mirror. It's very much out of focus and weird shapes, and they pick out what they want, and then they come out of the funhouse and maybe they wake up. With that, I have a couple of questions. And I haven't read Project 2025, so that could all be in Project 2025 when they want to turn America over. This may be part of it. Mr. Patel, Mr. Shapiro, or is it Shapiro?
It's Shapiro.
Shapiro, thank you. I had an uncle, he was Shapiro, and then his son became Shapiro. Mr. Shapiro says the Democrats are using the tacit threat of government action to compel private companies to throttle viewpoints that we don't like. You know what chutzpah is?
Sorry, sir?
You know what chutzpah is?
No, sir.
Well, that's chutzpah. We're literally in a hearing where the Republicans are using the power of this committee, not tacitly threaten, but actually accuse.
Would the gentleman yield for a question?
Companies of illegal activity and investigate them because they don't like their viewpoint. A very sensible viewpoint, I would argue, that they don't want to be associated with hate speech or domestic violence or rape or harassment. You wouldn't want to be associated with anything to deal with somebody who went into Bergdorf Goodman and got a woman and took her into a locked dressing room and molested her. No, you wouldn't want to do that. And you wouldn't want to be, I could go on and on and on about that